All right, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the Week 13 Fantasy Playoff Review. Yours truly, back here. Kind of surprised to see myself back in this position. Not really too proud of my team this year, but when they're healthy, they're pretty good. Blessed is Debo's name. Thank you for that win, Debo, and for the $20. So let's get started. Obvious shout out, of course, to Watson, Duncan, and Will, already out of the playoffs, which it is, week 13, 1 week before the playoffs, so, not too surprising y'all are out of it by now. Will, you're kind of disappointing without Cole, as much as it pains me to say that. And Watson, I do expect more from you, obviously not Duncan, but you talk so much shit and then you trash at fantasy, but whatever, Shouts out to Cole and Chris. Let's see what Chris is at score wise or points for wise. Chris, you're at fucking 9-4 and you have sub 1,400 points for. That is kind of suspicious, and your commissioner, it just doesn't look too well. I say we vote and get a new one after this year, but it is a democracy, so we'll see. So Chris and Cole, y'all both obviously make it at the head of y'all's respective divisions, although it's way less of an accomplishment for Chris. Also, shout out to Brett and Burkhart, who have also clinched their playoff spots. Y'all are looking pretty good. A little surprised that Burkhart is there, but Brett, you always come to play, even though I don't think you've won. Burkhart has at least won the most recent championship. What was I going to say? Well, I am surprised at how many people are still in the running, with this being the final week. We got me, Team Superior, Mike, Tanner. Not too surprised by all these, maybe a little bit Sue, but the real surprise at the last 7 and 6 spot is, of course, MVB. I don't know if this will be his first playoff appearance, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was. At least you didn't let the auto draft pick all your entire team this year. All right, let's get into some of last week's games. Week 13. All right, me versus Duncan. Duncan, you didn't put up a fight at all. Debo had nearly 38 points. It's hard to put up a fight with that. Kamara and Mixon, both just over 25. Will, you wanted Kamara. Burke, you wanted Kamara. I'm glad I didn't trade it to either of you, although Burke, you were making better offers. Now let's go to our next game. I just have to think. Well, I guess Brett won this one, so now Tanner's in the fight. Y'all had a decent game. Tanner almost had 115. Brett almost had 135. Not a bad game. Dak did pretty good. Wow, Tanner, you had some high points from a couple players, as did Brett. Collins had 31.6 points somehow. Tua, always love to see him do good, 38. That was quite a matchup. Brett won, so he has clinched his spot. Tanner, me and you are still in the running. I hope you lose next week. Wow. Will, moving on to the next game, MD and Will. Will, you have really disappointed me in this. If you'd have just beat MD, who only put up 85.5 points, it would have made the playoff running just that much tighter. Wouldn't have had to worry about MD. But since you only put up 56 points, Will, you've proven yourself worthy of being out of the running for the playoffs. Good for you. Next we go to Stroud Boys and Cousin Lovin' Stroud. I don't know why I can't talk. Burke versus MVB. Not a crazy game. Burke, you put up 127, so I guess you deserve the win. Good for you, clinching your playoff spot. MVB, I'm surprised you made it this far, so not mad that Burke beat you. Don't want to see him repeat, though. Wish he could have won that, so he wouldn't have clinched his spot. And then next we come to Team Superior. Of course, Watson. Team Superior versus Israeli Sympathizer. Of course, Watson, loses this game because he's trash, but it would have been nice for him to knock Sue out of the running. Sue, your team didn't do bad. Pacheco's been playing good. Kelsey only got 10 points for you, Watson, I know, because he's in my other league. That's rough, but I don't know. Not much to comment on there. Superior got a win. Good for him. It's always disappointing when you have a review and Ethan wins, but brings us to our last matchup. The two big dogs, unfortunately, are Cole and Chris. Chris, you put up 125. Not a bad week, although you don't deserve to be in the position you're in. Smithson, you almost had the week high. You didn't clutch it, but, can't talk shit on either of y'all. Y'all are locked for the playoffs, and one of y'all will be the first bye. So, good for y'all. Short review, but it's week 13. Let's let our team speak for themselves in the playoffs, which are coming soon. Peace.